Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lion's Den Show. And here's your host, Cody, Robert, and Judy.
Hello and welcome to the Lion's Den Show. I'm your host and your toast, Cody, Robert, Judy. Cheers, it's good to be with you. Today is May 18th, 2011. We have a revealing show for you today regarding very important legal developments calling for immediate congressional verification hearings in the matter of constitutional qualifications of one Barack Hussein Obama, aka Barry Soetoro. This is the show calling all birthers for the impending revolution about to take place in our country. I want to say that again. We have a revealing show for you today regarding a very important legal development calling for immediate congressional verification hearings in the matter of constitutional qualifications of one Barack Hussein Obama. This is a show calling all birthers for the impending revolution about to take place in our country. And as a sign, I am asking every American to fly their flag upside down as a distress message to Congress. As you notice, I have my flag upside down on my lapel. If you're a birther and you don't have the ability to pass this on and send this video to every person you know, then you're not worth your own constitutional salt. For the words I am speaking are the words from heaven regarding the hell that we are in right now with the occupant of the White House. Speaking of Barack Hussein Obama, aka Barry Soetoro, you got it. I want to see this video burn through the nation like a fire flash in the western sagebrush. Now, just a prelude for what I'm about to reveal, I'm going to take you back about 3 years ago to about 4 days before the Republican National Convention in 2008. Mind you, I said before the Republican National Convention in 2008 and the nomination of Senator John Sidney McCain in Las Vegas, Nevada, where a poor white kid who is a natural-born citizen of America and running for president, was serving up a lawsuit against the powerful elite Senator John Sidney McCain and the National Republican Committee, within which we read as follows. With the arcane constitutional issue about Mr. McCain's status popping up in a couple of courtrooms, the Senate Judiciary Committee is expected next week to approve and send to the Senate floor a non-binding resolution that seeks to put to rest any question about Mr. McCain and the murky natural-born citizen clause. Resolved that John Sidney McCain III is a natural-born citizen under Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution of the United States, and declares the resolution co-authored by Senators Patrick Leahy, a Democrat of Vermont and chairman of the Judicial Committee, and Senator Claire McCaskill, Democrat of Missouri. The sponsors include both Democrats vying to be Mr. McCain's opponents, Senators Hillary Rodham Clinton of New York and Senator Barack Obama of Illinois, as well as Senator Tom Coburn, Republican of Oklahoma. Now listen. Of course, the authors acknowledge the resolution would have little real influence on the matters of Mr. McCain's eligibility hanging by a legal thread. The Tribe-Olson opinion also suggests that Senator McCain obtained citizenship by statute. However, the only statute in effect in 1936, the year of McCain's birth, did not cover the Canal Zone. Recognizing the gap in 1937, Congress passed a citizenship law applicable only to the Canal Zone, granting Senator McCain citizenship, but 11 months too late for him to be citizen at birth. Because Senator John McCain was not a citizen at birth, he is not a natural-born citizen and thus is not eligible to the office of the president under the Constitution. In the Declaration of Independence, which constituted an action of the Second Continental Congress, July 4, 1776, it is related, "Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes." Quoting now from the lawsuit, Mr. Judy has also spent money to run for presidential race. Mr. McCain is prohibited from competition, similar to allegations that China's gold medalist gymnastics team members may have been too young to compete in the Olympics compared to the qualifications of other world teams like Americans. The age is set at 16 and older for a reason. Younger gymnasts may have an advantage on flexibility and be smaller in stature to perform movements easier. The election is similar to a contest between parties, and the qualifications of said parties applies to squaring the race. There have been no U.S. constitutional amendments guaranteeing a naturalized citizen's ability to run for U.S. president. The non-binding resolution of the United States Senate declaring John McCain eligible smacks in the face of constitutional law and is deplorable by U.S. senators charged in defending constitutional merits in a longer 6-year term than counterpart U.S. Congress or representatives, and is certainly half-hearted to the steps of a constitutional amendment that must necessitate such an incredible departure from the current U.S. constitutional provisional principle. The Congress was not consulted. This left out half of the legislative branch of the government and certainly represents no plea to the judicial branch for interpretation. It also has fraudulently laid waste to nearly 46% of the American vote in the election of 2008. How do you feel about that, America? Every vote for Senator John McCain was a fraudulent vote for a natural-born citizen. Wouldn't you at least rather have had your vote count on a legally qualified candidate rather than the fraud I, as a presidential candidate, swore an oath against in my legally binding suit against Senator John Sidney McCain and the National Republican Committee? Now, in the same lawsuit, we find all the evidence against Barack Hussein Obama, aka Barry Soetoro, who garnered 54% of the vote, also on the premise he was a natural-born citizen and qualified. Why did we call him Barry Soetoro? Not because that was his nickname in kindergarten school, but because that was who he was known as from kindergarten to his departure at Occidental College. Did you hear me say that? He was registered and going to Occidental College as Barry Soetoro. Now, does Congress have any record of his changing his name to Barack Hussein Obama? Please consider this clip from Mr. Obama.
As some of you heard, the state of Hawaii released my official long-form birth certificate. Hopefully, this puts all doubts to rest. But just in case there are any lingering questions, tonight, I'm prepared to go a step further. Tonight, for the first time, I am releasing my official birth video. Now, I warn you, no one has seen this footage in 50 years. Not even me. But let's take a look.
we have had no legal record regarding Barry Soetoro being Barack Hussein Obama. But now we have 2 records released by Barack Hussein Obama of his own accord, which, very importantly here, releases him from the protections of the U.S. Constitution Amendment 5, which states as relative, "No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself." Barack Obama, aka Barry Soetoro, has lost his ability to plead the Fifth with the release of his long-form birth certificate 3 years after the election. It's been a long time coming, but we finally got it. We have his short-form birth certificate, and we now have recently his release of the long-form birth certificate, and we have his name, Barry Soetoro, registered in school. By those 3 records, Congress can demand through their legal subpoena power the test of these documents, their authenticity. The demand to see Mr. Barry Soetoro, Barack Hussein Obama's Occidental College records, Columbia records, Harvard records, as well as his official name change inherent to the responsibility of the votes he received as an Illinois state senator, a U.S. senator in Illinois, and every vote cast for him in the presidential election of 2008 in the deliberations of 2008 presidential election. What we have here is a fraud of epic proportions in the election of this man, and Congress now has the constitutional responsibility and duty to open hearings with my testimony against Barack Hussein Obama, aka Barry Soetoro, as a presidential candidate myself in the 2008 presidential elections. Mr. Obama thinks this fraud is so funny, he's selling t-shirts to raise money for his 2012 election. You can get your own t-shirt that has American born on the front of this and this long-form birth certificate on the back of it, wherein Congress also will see he is not a natural-born citizen, with the revelation of his father as a British subject and Obama as a British subject by law. Remember, Nixon was addressed by a reporter and then by Congress? Mr. Obama is being addressed by a fellow presidential candidate, Congress, who was financially hurt by the fraudulent declarations of candidacy signed by Mr. Obama, aka Barry Soetoro. Until next time, I'm Cody Robert Judy. Cowboy up and spur 'em in the guts.